Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Petrides High School. We have a double dose of championship basketball on deck for you tonight. I'm Danny Chanod from Nobody Cares Sports, and joining me in the broadcast booth once again are two coaches and rising stars in the broadcasting business, Coach Danny Lee and Coach Ray Palma. Tonight's first game is the Sihsl JV Championship between the underdog Farrell Lions and the favorite, the St. Peter's Eagles. Turning it over now to the Main Street Coffee broadcast booth. I'd like to welcome Danny Lee and Coach Ray Palma into the booth. Boys, how are you tonight?
Happy to be. Go ahead, Coach. An honor and privilege to be here on such an historic night. First time we've had a Staten High School championship game. And it feels like 10 years. You know, I guess it's been 2 or 3, but nonetheless, Coach, the environment, the feeling of the Staten High School tournament is alive and well, Danny, and it's just fun to see it.
It's going to be hot tonight. It's going to be hot tonight. What do you got, Dan?
Yeah, it was packed for the semifinals. An unbelievable crowd. I expect the same tonight. Obviously, with 3 different Catholic schools, C being in the varsity final as well. 2 rivals, St. Peter's and Monsignor Farrell. No surprise here. So I know you said Monsignor Farrell being the underdog, but anytime rivals play, there's really no underdog.
Now, you talk about 2 schools that really don't like each other, and I mean, we could beat around the bush all that we want, but I got news for you. This is a true rivalry at its finest. We want to look at the Farrell Lions for this JV championship. Here's a look at their starting 5. Their head coach is Pete Tutrone. Is that how you'd say his name?
Close enough. Yeah,
Tutrone?
Tutrone. That's what I know it as.
That's what you know. That's a terrible
I'm sure
one.
He's fine either way.
I'll have to send his family a fruit basket, but we'll have a look at their starting 5 right here. It's point guard Eric Rodriguez, the shooting guard Christian Namarado, the small forward Michael Sears, the power forward Michael Holzer, and the center Antonio Britton. Fellas, I'm going to start with you, Danny. If you are the Farrell Lions, what do you have to do tonight to get ahead and stay ahead?
Well, I think it's going to start defensively because St. Peter's has a lot of options on the offensive end. They're going to have to control the pace if you're Farrell and rebound. Can't give second chance opportunities. Britton is huge, 6'5", 6'6" on a JV level, and very skilled.
That's a real stat?
Yeah, if they go into
he's
Britton,
actually that tall and he's on JV. All right,
you're gonna see. I mean, he'd be on pretty much, as coach could probably attest, almost every other varsity, but he's on the JV here, and he's very skilled. Good footwork in the post. Offensively, I would work into him in the post. Everything should run through him. If Peters is going to double, he's a willing passer. So they got to control the pace, Farrell. If Farrell can control offensive pace and dominate the backboards defensively, they can win the game today.
All right, Ray, what do you got for Farrell?
Well, if you're Monsignor Farrell, you have to match up with Peters. Got Farrell going, St. Peter's beating twice in the regular season. So from Farrell's perspective, you need to look to take it right at them. Farrell does, obviously, like Coach Lee said, have the size advantage. St. Peter's a better record in the regular season. We're interested to see how Giovanni matches up, with Pertain. Pertain has a few inches on him. Might be somewhat of a mismatch in some ways, but on the other end of the floor, he could expose him in other angles. So evenly matched up teams in my way. And again, like we said last time, hard to beat a team 3 times a day.
Tremendous stuff. We love the insight. Now let's meet the starting 5 from the St. Peter's Eagles. Well, it's led by head coach Matt Genovese, and we've got the point guard Ryan Burgos, the shooting guard Jack Clancy, and at the other shooting guard, heavy shooting guards here, Aiden Schmidt. That's what the Peters boys do. They roll heavy with their shooters. At small forward, it's Salu Johanny. And at center, it's Aries Navarez. Boys, let's turn it back over here. If you're the Eagles, Danny, what do you have to do to jump ahead in this ball game and do what everybody's expecting them to do?
Well, I think the Eagles want the pace to be a little more frantic. Offensively, I think they have a couple more skilled players, especially at the guard position. The key to me, I think, is Aiden Schmidt on both ends. His energy and his athleticism. Ever since Coach Genovese put him in the starting lineup, it's really changed their team.
Tremendous. Ray, you got 30 seconds.
Schmidt probably the best shooter in the game, and I'm not an expert. I've seen Peters. I haven't really seen Farrell. But Schmidt's probably the best shooter in the game. Point guard Burgos, always important. A point guard championship game. Burgos is the kind of guy that can, no matter what's going to give you consistency. Can he do it scoring the basketball as well as getting his teammates involved? We'll find out, but that kid's a leader.
Absolutely tremendous stuff from my two color commentators and confidants in the booth, Coach Danny Lee and Coach Ray Palma. I'm Danny Chanod from Nobody Cares Sports. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by our friends at Windows We Are. We want to also give a big shout out to Shooting School jumping on board tonight.
School, nice.
Sal Fabosi, Anthony Pasalacqua jumping on board as sponsors. Main Street Coffee, we see you. We're going to turn it over to the public address announcer now for player introductions.
Tonight's final features the Monsignor Farrell Lions against the St. Peter's Eagles. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the starting lineup for tonight's game. First, for the Monsignor Farrell Lions under head coach Petrides. Number 11, Michael Sears. Number 24, Michael Holzer. Number 30, Aaron Rodriguez. Number 33, Christian Navarro. And number 44, Antonio Britton. And now, here is 25 for the St. Peter's Eagles under head coach Matt Genovese. Number 1, Salud Jai. Number 2, Jared Lindsay. Number 3, Ryan Burgos. Number 11, Aiden Schmidt. And number 12 is Vine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for starting lineups. If you're just joining us, welcome to the JV Championship game. It is a doubleheader matchup tonight. The second game on the docket is the Varsity Championship game. So 2 championship broadcasts tonight on deck for free, brought to you by Nobody Cares Sports. No religion, no politics, just feel-good sports vibes. 8 minutes on the clock, 4 quarters of championship basketball coming up here from Petrides High School. Boys, are you ready for this or what?
This is fantastic. Obviously 2 top teams here on Staten Island. No surprise to see Peters Farrell in a championship game again. I don't have the stat in front of me, but I'm sure it's happened several times. And couldn't happen to 2 better guys. But here's a little fun fact. No matter what, this championship trophy will go back to IS-27 because both coaches, one of the assistant principal and Pete Detrone also working there as the programmer. Big-time championship game here on the way, though, Danny Lee.
Yep. We got Rex Tavani and we got Frank Schettino as the 2 referees today.
Now the centers are out, and we are tipped off. It's the JV Lions that control it to start. And bringing it across the timeline is Michael Sears. Perimeter passing here to start from the Lions. The gym just slowly starting to fill up. Monsignor Farrell wearing maroon uniforms with gold stripes, gold numbers, and gold trim. After a miss, it's the Eagles that come up with it. The Eagles come in as a favorite in this rivalry, but still it's a coin toss, anybody's game as far as the commentators are concerned. St. Peter's wearing all white uniforms with gold trim, blue stripes, and blue letters. Here's a 3 from downtown Monty. The Eagles are on the board to start.
Early on, Burgos, point guard, getting the Eagles going. Man-to-man stable defensively for the Eagles as well.
Back down the other end, the Lions will try to answer. Michael Holzer with the ball. Kicks it inside to big man. The extra pass Beautiful, puts the Lions on the board. Eric Rodriguez with the bucket.
Everything's got to go through Britton offensively for Farrell. He missed a couple quick ones and then a nice pass there on the cut.
Eagles with it now. Salou driving with the right hand, missing off the glass too strong. Eagles will have a second chance opportunity. Beautiful move in the paint from Clancy. That is a name we're going to continue to call tonight. And Eagles fans have heard it for generations.
You see the matchup there of the Eagles with, I don't know how to read this. I should have written Narvaez in the post here. Give him a couple inches there.
Count it, and the foul.
Coach, if I got that a little bit sooner, I would have pointed out. You know, this kid's giving up a few inches here. Guarding Brittain in the post here, so that's a matchup Farrell may need to. I mean, the Eagles may look to double down, help out a little bit on that one. Going to be a tough size-wise matchup.
Coach, we're seeing old school basketball for Farrell. Throw it into the big man.
Keep it
First
simple,
four possessions, right into the big man on the post.
Antonio Britton completes the conventional three-point play, and we're all knotted up at 5 as we approach 2 minutes gone by here in the opening quarter. Working around the high screen, the point guard gets access into the paint and finds his money. That's Ryan Burgos putting his name in the stat column. Farrell brings it across the timeline now. A little careless with the basketball, and we have our first turnover of the game.
Eagles making it look easy on offense so far. Farrell sure going to tighten it up on that end. Big start already for Burgos. Point guard, sophomore, leader.
Nico Pellicani brings it across the timeline. Hines with it now. Back up top. Eagles with it. Shooting guard. I have the wrong roster. Nobody cares. Back to the action on the court. Second chance opportunities there all day for the Eagles to start.
That's Clancy on the right wing. We'll pick and roll.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Got to do something with it. Creates separation. Loses his dribble. Kicks it outside for 3. Won't go. Farrell will have possession. Shot clock violation. Danny, what do you see there?
Great defensive possession there by Farrell. Britton he got caught in a switch with Clancy. Stayed down. Made Clancy give it up, and Schmidt had to take a quick shot at the end of the shot clock.
I'll tell you, they started this game right on time. 5 o'clock start. We're already 3 minutes gone by here in real game time. It's the Farrell Lions down by 2 points here as we approach the 5-minute mark. Losing the dribble in the paint, now kicking it outside. Big man working with the left. Extra pass off the glass. Money. Antonio Britton with the bucket. Knotted up at 7.
Absolutely beautiful. Driving dish. Absolutely beautiful. New York City basketball at its finest.
Clancy now gets it off a screen on a give-and-go action. The kick back up top. Schmidt fires off the left rim. No. Rebounded by the Lions. They'll look for their first lead of the game on this possession. Now giving it up top. Big man shuffles it to the right side. Up top to the key. Now back to the big. And they're going to call a foul before a shot attempt was taken. Shout out to Rex, referee. He's a real one. I met him before the game. I told him I wouldn't badmouth him, but the other ref is open season as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, Rex is, as Rob Bates says, a rising star in the referee industry, and Frank Schettino, who was a very good player at Moore and College of Staten Island, knows his stuff. So we got 2 good refs here today in the championship game.
Farrell gets it in. Great defense from the Eagles. We'll see if they can come up with a loose ball. They cannot. The Lions will retain possession with a fresh shot clock to match. Rebounding underneath their own basket. They get it in on the right wing. Sears brings it up top.
Sears, an old school player, known for a mid-range game. Not as much of a three-point shooter, but more of the mid-range specialist, which is hard to find these days.
A little careless with the basketball. Half the shot clock gone now. 15 seconds to go. Now Murado loses the ball, but a Lion there to pick it up. A long jumper's buried from Sears.
Good call, Coach. Yeah. Mid-range game. And I'll say about the Farrell guards, Namarato and Sears, very tough, very good with the basketball to match up with the good Peters guards.
Now Farrell's got their first lead of the game, 9-7, under 4 minutes. A beautiful feed. And it doesn't go. Second chance opportunity. No. Great job by the Lions to deny the offensive putback. Now back down the other way. Lions looking to build on a 2-point lead.
Now the matchup is Ramos on Bertain off the bench. Same, height differential. They'll give up a few inches to Bertain. Something to look at as the game develops.
Sears getting the call from the bench. Now the play put into action. Big man getting fed early and often misses a contested shot in the paint. Eagles come up with it now. Under 3 minutes to go here in the opening quarter of the JV championship game between the Farrell Lions and the St. Peter's Eagles. This is bonus coverage, folks. Like and subscribe. Nobody cares. Michael Sears with it, kicking it to the corner. Now Murado sends it back up top. Rodriguez with it. Excellent pass and a stuff by Clancy in the paint. And then we have a foul called after the fact.
I thought it was odd that Bertain was on the block there, but not really looking to post up, and then you see the hard flash and cut there on the weak side. So obviously some misdirection almost there by the Lions, and a great weak side cut to run the foul.
And they're going to give Antonio a quick break right here with 2:34 to go here in the first. Farrell, my keys to Farrell right now, defensive rebounding, and they've done it.
Oh, beautiful pass into the paint, doesn't go.
Yeah, Bertain, a few teammates, a lot of missed layups early on.
That is a long two, doesn't go from the corner for the Lions, and the Eagles come up with it. Not a lot of jitters to start for these teams. It seems like they just settled right into their game. Two teams playing at their best, a true championship matchup. As Clancy rifles a three, misses it. Peters with a second chance opportunity and a blocking foul. This one could have gone either way.
Yeah, I agree there. He wasn't quite there, I don't think, D-Lee. It was a good rotation, way to step up. I think he might have been half a second too late.
I agree with you, Coach. Good rotation by Sheehan, but he just didn't get to the spot. Nice drive by Jahani.
So this will be the first time Jahani, I think he might have scored a bucket early, but relatively slow start for him. Jahani's a fantastic all-around player. We played St. Peter's in the playoffs, so I watched 3 different games for St. Peter's, maybe 50 times each prior to matching up with them, and all that film work did absolutely nothing for us as Peters absolutely steamrolled us in the first round, and Jahani being one of those main reasons. Spectacular all-around player on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, Jahani hits the first of 2.
And you saw Antonio Britton came, Coach Trotron went right back to him, Coach.
Yeah,
so they only got about a 35-second break.
You don't need much time with him on the pine, that's for sure. This kid needs to be on the floor showcasing his talents if Farrell wants to win this game.
Careless with the basketball on the right side are the Lions. The Eagles will have it and a chance to take the lead. Just under 2 minutes to go here in the opening quarter of the JV championship game from Petrides High School.
Peters is always going to be in the passing lanes. You're not going to be able to just throw, easy nonsense passes. If you're not on your game as far as moving the ball, you're going to be in trouble against that Eagles defense.
The ball sent up top. Wow, working around a high screen. Schmidt gives it up. Negrete fires a three, and it doesn't go. Lions come up with 1:35 to go in the first quarter. They've been getting plenty of money in the paint. We'll see if they look that way again here. Big man calling for it. He doesn't get it. Point guard decides to keep it all himself. Second chance opportunity. No, he's fouled. And going to the line to shoot 2 is Antonio Britton.
See that action, Danny? He's like Bertain starts on the high wing. Actually, he's cutting through and just kind of stops, plops, and posts, and they dump it right in. Nice little action there. Get him a touch, and you get the ball down low, you're going to see things like this.
Coach, what I like from Farrell is that Sears and Namorado both share kind of point guard duty. So how Burgos is the point guard for Peters, both these guys bring it up, and they both have different styles.
Yeah, you know what, Coach? I hadn't even noticed that. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't noticed who the point guard is because it's just so seamless. Whoever has it goes and it just gets them into their stuff.
Now Britton bangs both from the charity stripe. And back to the action we go. With a 3-point lead, the Lions look to protect it. A beautiful move from Jahani. Too strong off the glass. The Lions come up with it.
Bertain's a presence defensively in that paint, that's for sure.
Looking to build on a 3-point lead. 1 minute to go here on the opening quarter.
Same action there, Danny.
Sending it back inside. Seemingly, the offense starts in the paint, then they kick it back out to see what they can find. Perimeter passing here with 10 seconds on the clock. Careless with the basketball. The Eagles come up with it. Jahani going all the way to the hoop, missing what would be an easy layup, and fouled on the follow-up opportunity on the rebound. We'll have an Eagle going to the line, or no bonus. Inbounding underneath their own hoop with 35.2 to go here.
A little excitement, you get a little yippee on a fast break, championship game. So Jahani's showing perhaps a little jitters. I don't think I've ever seen him miss a layup, to be honest. So little championship game jitters, and that's quite all right. I'm sure he'll settle in and have his moments throughout the course of this one.
And great hustle by the Farrell guys just to get back in the play, Coach.
And a turnover here. The Lions come up with it. They should be holding for the final shot of the first quarter here in the JV championship. Sending it over right side. Now back up top to the key. Left side of the arch. Now sending it back into the paint. Good defense here from the Eagles. Second chance opportunity won't go. Eagles soaring down the court in a 3-on-1 situation. Jahani off the glass, lays it in. It's a 1-point game. Lions have to throw it up at the buzzer. The shot doesn't go. And the score at the end of one full quarter of play is the Farrell Lions 11 and the St. Peter's Eagles 10. Back with more second quarter coverage of the JV title game in a second. Welcome back to the action, folks. 8 minutes are the quarters that we're playing here tonight from Petrides High School. The gym is slowly going to start to fill up as we continue to move here. This second quarter of action brought to you by our friends at Windows. We are 9110 Fifth Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. These people do everything Windows. I mean, I'm talking installation, repairs. They'll come to your house and fix a screen door. And, don't be afraid to drive over the bridge. They'll even pay for your toll. And if you're afraid to park, I got good news for you. They got a parking lot over there. Big shout out to the Turnbull family. Family with St. Peter's, family here with Nobody Cares Sports. Supported us since the jump. Coach Danny Lee, Coach Ray Palma on the call. Start of the second quarter. Ray, if you are St. Peter's, stick to your game plan or make adjustments?
Obviously you always want to make an adjustment. I'm not necessarily going to adjust, but you want to play better when you're losing. Peters wants to play fast. I expect the tempo to turn up a little bit this quarter.
Tremendous. Jack Clancy gets the inbound. Stop, pop, turn around in the lane is good. And the Eagles retake the lead. Bringing it across the timeline now is the Farrell Lions. They find themselves down by a point. Beautiful pass and even better defense, but in a double team, a foul is called.
Called it on one, D-Lee? Ooh, I don't know. What do you think, D-Lee? I thought it was a clean up top to me.
Yeah, they got Jahani on the foul. I thought maybe it was Ramos on the arm, but it looks like they got Jahani. Good cut there by Antonio. Nice little action, a little pick and roll, and he cut to the basket. He gets to the line again.
Early on, Farrell's man-to-man offense and the way they're moving it with their guards and getting them involved has been magnificent so far. A lot of good touches. If not for a bunch of missed layups, this might be a 22-12 game. And biggest thing, Coach, they're not giving up any second chance opportunities. They've gotten pretty much every defensive rebound. Excellent point. A lot of one-and-dones.
Well, he makes both from the charity stripe, and it's the Lions who jump out to a 1-point lead now. Clancy brings it across the timeline. Ferocious defense exhibited here by the Lions on this possession. Jahani kicks it to the corner, a three off the mark. Second chance opportunity for Schmidt, won't go. And a mad scramble for the rebound as a Lion hits the deck hard.
So, Coach, the scouting report that you had, is Ramos a three-point shooter? Because he's taken a couple here already.
No. Well, I didn't ask specifically about Ramos' three-point shooting ability, but I don't think I've seen him take many. Championship game, maybe the kid's feeling it, wants to let it fly, and I don't think Coach minds much. The kid outlets a good-looking shot, but so far it has been very eventful for the Eagles.
Clancy with it, kicks it up top to Burgos, using his left arm to create separation, but a foul is called on the defense. It'll go against Sheehan.
Yeah, both shots look good, Coach. I was just wondering because from what I saw when they played you guys, I didn't see him take many outside shots. But either way, Peters, they run the methodical offense. They always get their good back cuts. We'll see if they pick up the tempo here.
Well, this is a nice spot. Inbounding right in front. I'll tell you, we got some view for these games, boys. Clancy inbounds it. Burgos receives. 1 minute gone by here in second quarter of the JV championship game between the Lions and the Eagles. Schmidt driving, sending it back up top, and a good steal at the charity stripe. And then a foul called right after the fact. Great defense here from the Lions.
Rodriguez coming in aggressive on defense, getting hyped up. That kid was just as pumped up now from a defensive stop as he seemed to be if he dunked the basketball, which is great to see, Coach.
Yeah, great activity. I saw him bump Burgos and then get back into the passing lane.
I mean, these boys are getting after it right now, bro. This is 110% a rivalry. And this is just our JV championship, so stick around for the varsity at 7 p.m. 13-12 is the score here. Lions looking to build. Point guard almost loses his own handle. Now kicking it up top. Negrete off to the left side. Now back up top. Perimeter passing here. 5 on the clock. Got to do something with it. Dribbling into a double team, and we've got a shot clock violation.
The one thing about the fact that they're looking to get the ball inside so much, it does lead to some standing around, and if you don't get those back cuts against the overplays in the pass lane from the Eagles, you're going to get in trouble.
It's Burgos who will bring it across the timeline. Approaching 6 minutes to go in the first half. Good pass up here at top of the key. Wild pass, possibly a shot attempt. Nobody knows. Farrell comes up with it.
I don't know, I can't read the kid's last name, but 12, his first name's Aris.
Long jumper won't go. Burgos with it now. Peters still down by 1, working around a high screen, fakes the jumper. Now passing it around the top of the key. Clancy, stutter step. Big man has it. Gives it to Jahani, who misses the jumper. A battle for the board, and the refs are going to say last touch by the Lions, and the Farrell bench is beside themselves. Danny?
Yeah, great box out by the Lions underneath. They just missed that one. It went off the St. Peter's guy trying to reach over. So Peters got away with one there.
Thank you for knowing what's going on. Well, sometimes the ball don't lie. The Farrell Lions come right up with it. Bringing it across the timeline, Christian Namorato. Working with his right, now switching to his left. Handing it up to the top of the key. They work it inside to the big. Finds himself in a quick double. Now they switch a cross-court pass. Lions are forced to reset. Eagles with tenacious D almost come up with a steal. Instead, it's a kick to the corner, and a three's buried from downtown. Gerard Sheehan has Farrell with a 4-point lead, and the Eagles have called timeout.
Sheehan, a football player, brings that football mentality, certainly has no fear out there. He just gave a kid a chest bump that would have knocked me in the middle of next week there, Coach Lee.
Yeah, listen, I think with Rodriguez, Sheehan, Namorato, Farrell's got a bunch of tough kids, especially on the wing and in the guard situation, and you could see that right now through the first quarter and a half here, that the loose balls, the 50-50 balls are really going Farrell's way, and they're doing a great job on the backboards.
And then defensively for Farrell, it's been a success thus far. I mean, you've held Schmidt scoreless to my knowledge. Burgos got off early, and they've held Jahani down for the most part. So if you're going to do that, you're going to find yourself successful in this game.
Coach, I think the guy for Peters that has to get going is Jack Clancy, because I know he could score in bunches. He's got a really nice shot. Him and Schmidt, I think, are the two guys that really got to get going offensively.
Certainly going to need at least one of the two, that's for sure.
If I may quote the movie Semi-Pro with Clancy, he punches in bunches. When that kid gets rolling, this Eagles team, it really is night and day from what they're playing right now.
Clancy's almost like a prototype, like as far as you're going to create a basketball. If you're going to create a guard, you can pretty much do everything on a quarter guard does, and it looks good doing it on top of that.
I want to give a shout out to Mike Cugno doing an amazing job on camera up there with Gotham Trinity Productions. Clancy brings it across the timeline, nearly loses it, gets it back on a give and go. He's fouled on a shot attempt that won't go. Go to the line to shoot 2.
So Danny Chanod's Tony Romo moment here, calling this one out as far as getting Clancy involved, D-Lee.
Yeah, a good set by Coach Genovese.
I don't know how I feel about being compared to Tony Romo. You don't have anybody else?
Well, Romo's good at predicting plays. That particular thing.
Right.
He has that skill. He may talk too much otherwise, but he's good at that.
Yeah, he knows. He'll read the play before it even happens.
All right, I'm good with it. Back to the action.
He's also like the highest. He's also the highest paid broadcaster in sports, so it's not the worst compliment.
Well, with Brady coming too, right? They gave him
I think Brady might take that down.
My heavier days, I used to get compared to Rosie O'Donnell. Back to the action on the court. Farrell with a 3-point lead after Clancy makes 1 of 2 at the line. Working into the paint nicely and throwing a beautiful runner off the glass. Gerard Sheehan getting busy. Jahani all the way down the other end answers the bell.
And the athletes are starting to show themselves. The jitters are out.
Farrell now has it on the left side of the court. A long 3. This one from Oakwood doesn't go. Eagles come up with the board down 3. Jahani works into a double. He's fouled on the shot attempt. D-Lee, you like that or what?
Coach Genovese has come out into extended pressure, and after that timeout, he wants them to push the ball, and they pushed on a make and got a layup, and now they're pushing on a miss, and Jahani's at the fouling. Great coaching there, good adjustments.
Namorado got himself caught where he wasn't quite in help to take a charge because he was backing up a little too much, and then just found himself reached in. Must have got a little bit of the hand. 2 shots for Jahani.
Oh, well, he makes the first one from the charity stripe, making it look easy. Nothing but net.
Yeah, the pace has been too slow for St. Peter's. You want to get out in transition and use your athletic ability. Farrell wants the game to slow down possession by possession.
Yeah, Farrell's not quite as slow as their varsity, but still one of the slower-paced teams in the Catholic League and the JV level. And Peter's going to some full-court pressure.
I tell you, they should after 2 made at the free throw line. A possible turnover. They come up with it. Clancy fires a 3. Money!
This is straight old-school Tim Gannon, red press.
Just like I drew it up. Clancy's starting to get going. The press has Farrell all disoriented, struggling to get it across the timeline. Now they do in a 2-on-1 situation. Back down the other end. They score. Sheehan once again making a large impact in this ballgame.
Major minutes from Sheehan off the bench.
Yeah, he's not going to be going back to the bench anytime soon the way he's playing.
Burgos works around a high screen. Now Clancy gets it. Eagles reset the offense. 15 on the shot clock. Into Jahani, who gets separation, but excellent defense from Britton this time. The Lions come up with it. Knotted up at 20, approaching the 3-minute mark here in the first half.
Got to say, the Lions are winning the pace of the game. Who can win these next 2 minutes? 3 minutes, excuse me.
Namorado gives it up to Britton. Almost a double dribble. Now sending it to the corner. Back up for a 3. Won't go off the back rim. Too strong. Mullen had the right idea, but just wouldn't go. St. Peter's now looking to take the lead. Boys, you talk about a championship matchup knotted up at 20. This is some game right now. A 3 from downtown for the Eagles doesn't go. Schmidt missing. The Lions come up with it.
Another big rebound there by Farrell, and they're going to get into their offense here. Britton's high. I think they're going to go a high screen and roll.
Namorado being hounded on defense by Schmidt, and they're going to call a foul on him. D-Lee, you don't like that? Yes!
Coach Charlie Donahue has bought us some hot dogs, it looks like.
Presidente.
Looks beautiful.
No.
Thank you, Presidente.
I just want to say it would be unbelievable if we you got any sauce on those? Show the camera right there. What do you got? First time we've been fed in 3 days.
Looks like some French's. I got some French's mustard.
Oh, you got a mustard.
I got a little
ketchup
mustard. All right, back to the action. Love it.
Thank you, President.
By the way, it's impossible to eat and broadcast at the same time.
We should only call Charlie President from now on, or Prez, or something along those lines. That should be his full-time title, and well-deserved. Great to have such a happy, down-to-earth, crazy man in charge of the Staten Island High School League.
He's a menace to society, but he's ours. Second one is up, and it's money. Farrell with a 2-point lead. 22-20 with 2:21 remaining here in the first half. Turn it over to our Nobody Cares Sports broadcast booth, powered by our friends at Main Street Coffee. Coach Danny Lee, Coach Ray Palma joining me in the booth tonight. With 2:21 remaining here, Farrell nursing this 2-point lead. It's been a one-possession game seemingly from the start.
The Lions there, obviously with a 2-point lead, you only get 5 timeouts a game, Danny. So they use one here with 2:21 left to stress the importance of this next 2:21. One team goes on a 6-7-8-0 run here. That could be a game decider in a game this tight. So Tetrone decides to burn one. Let's see what happens over the next 2:21 on both ends of the floor.
And I think Coach Tetrone is reinforcing to his guys, you're going to see pressure because Coach Genovese went into the full court red. He showed a 1-2-2 a little bit. You're going to see pressure come back to the ball. You got to utilize Britton with a 6'6" size in the middle of the press.
Excellent color commentary. The people at home absolutely don't deserve you. I know I don't. Back to the action on the court. Eagles doing their best to tie this ball game or take the lead on this possession.
Number 1, Logan Hines entered the game for Farrell.
Thank you for telling me what's going on. Jahani kicks it to the corner. Ramos with it now. Up top to Navarez. Thought about it, doesn't. Now Burgos fires a 3. That ball was in and out. Now sent back up top. Clancy working his way around left side. He's called for a charge. And the Farrell fans love it.
That's Brendan Mullen, a football player. Again, another one on the weak side, stepping up and help. Eagles staying in the Timmy Gannon 1-2-1-1 full court red press. You're going to see a lot of pressure on the ball at all times here, Dan.
Well, we have this red press here, and we'll see if Farrell can break it. They get it across the timeline, barely. And Big Man throws up a wild shot. I mean, plenty of time on the shot clock. Let your offense calm down. Instead, they rush it. The Eagles try and take advantage, and a foul called before the shot attempt, so it looks like they're going to be inbounding underneath their own basket, down 1:32 remaining here in the first half.
You mentioned his shot selection. It's just the tempo of the game and the fast break situation. Sometimes kids think on a fast break you have to go quick, but in that case, I think you're right, Danny. Maybe wise to pull it out.
Well, Clancy fires one from Jersey. It doesn't go. Second chance opportunity here as the Eagles come up with a long rebound. Burgos with it now. Goes in the paint, and he's called for a charge.
Great job, Burgos, just staying in front, working hard, staying in front. So far, no score since the timeout. Big minute 19.
Farrell gets it across the timeline. A lot of contact on the shot attempt. No call. Eagles come up with it. Jahani, a beautiful hop step off the glass. Cash.
Jahani's all warmed up and ready to play now.
Oh my heavens, this is going to be a little bit too much on defense here. As the arm came over the top and he basically bear hugged him.
And that's going to be double bonus, 10th foul on St. Peter's. So Hines is going to go to the line to shoot 2.
And that's the risk of the aggressive traps when you put 4 arms, reaching and trying to get the basketball. Sometimes you make contact with a hand or a wrist. And in this case, putting a guy at the line for 2 shots.
Well, we'll see what he can do with it. This is Logan Hines at the line. Double bonus, says Coach Lee. Shooting 2. First one is too strong off the back rim.
Free throws will always loom important. I'm sure, I haven't known your stats in front of me. I'm sure Hines is a fantastic foul shooter. He'll make one here and get Farrell going.
Temperature goes up a half a degree in this gym with every other person that comes in, so I'm sweating. Second one is no good. 0 for 2 from the line. 2 huge misses. We remain tied. Under 1 minute to go here in the first half of the Staten Island JV Championship.
I was wondering if Peters would go for a 2-for-1, but it looks like they're just going to be content to run a good set here.
Well, now this is Ramos working. Throws a runner in the lane. Doesn't go. Lions come up with it. And there is about a 1.5 second between shot clock and game clock. Will the Lions take their time or will they rush? And a steal by Jahani going coast to coast. Eagles take the lead.
The Eagles will always be in those passing lanes. You have to be careful if you're Monsignor Farrell.
Back down the other end. Lions looking to respond. 10 seconds on the game clock. Hines kicks it up top to Britton. Big man almost loses his dribble, finds the open man in the corner. Sheehan, the runner, is blocked and he's fouled. He's going to go to the line to shoot 2 with 0.6 seconds remaining here in the half.
He goes to the basket strong at all times with absolute reckless abandon. Look at the size on the strength, the muscle. And again, I mentioned the Farrell strength and conditioning coach last time. Well, here's his second drop. Look at the size of this kid.
Yeah, Coach, I was going to mention, I mean, other than Britton with his height, all the Farrell guys, they all look like football players. They all got great size and strength.
Oh, there's got to be a rim. I'm not. There's a lid. There's a lid on that free throw hoop right now. Go ahead, boys.
Muscles are not conducive to free throws in some cases, I suppose. But a money slump for the Lions. The Lions overall a strong free throw shooting team.
And the second one doesn't go. Lions get the rebound. No time left on the clock. The score at the end of one half of play. The Eagles with a 24-22 lead over the Lions.
Well, Patron called that timeout, Coach. They were up by 2, I believe. It was 22-20, and now they're down by 2. So that timeout, Patron didn't quite work out the way he planned.
And guy, for the kids watching at home, at the end of the first quarter, Farrell was trying to hold for one shot. They ended up going too early. They gave up a bucket. They had the opportunity to hold for one shot at the end of the second quarter. Jahani got in the pass lane and got a layup. Those are 4 big points in a game that's a possession-by-possession game.
Hey, we want to give a big shout out to our friends at Shooting School Basketball. You know, you could practice shooting 8 hours a day, but if your technique is wrong, then all you become is very good at shooting the wrong way. Get the fundamentals down, and the level of everything you do will rise. Check out our good friends at Shooting School Basketball, proud sponsors of tonight's championship basketball games from Petrides High School. Second half of action coming up between the Lions and the Eagles JV Championship. You're going to be back with Danny Chanod, Danny Lee, and Ray Palma. Does anybody care? Not about us, but this is big time. Nobody cares. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the broadcast. Nobody Cares Sports welcomes you to the second half of the JV Staten Island Championship. We are in a barn burner. You could call it a defensive battle, a rivalry game of biblical proportions, Catholic schools, all that. 24-22, St. Peter's with a 2-point lead. Coach Danny Lee, Coach Ray Palma joining Danny Chanod in the booth. Welcome back, everybody. Danny, you ready for this?
I'm ready for the second half. It's going to be a great one.
Ray?
Farrell, I think, early on showed the familiarity. You know, the kids that in a program that played together. Most of these guys played in the fresh team previously. So, and they took St. Peter's best punts and responded. And then Peters at the end of the half went in their own run post timeout. So let's see who comes out early, ready to go here in the third quarter. Who throws that first big punch?
Important. Ramos picked up his third foul. He's their big man for Peters, and he's the guy who was assigned to guard and Britton in the post. And then the backcourt from Farrell, both Sears and Namarato had 2. So they had to navigate the last 2 minutes, 2:25 after the timeout without their backcourt.
And I feel bad for number 12. I can't. His first name is Ari. His last name is Narvez. I don't want to say it terribly. But number 12 might play a big role here with Ramos in foul trouble. I'm just going to say call him his first name, which I know is Ari's. Here we go, Danny. Big time second half of Staten Island High School League basketball.
Sending it back. Sorry, I had to kick people out. All right, back to the action on the court.
They can't come into our VIP section here, then.
I mean, the rope means nothing, and shout out to Charlie Day. I've had a hot dog with ketchup on it since I was 9. Farrell has possession to start. Gets it inside of the big man. They had all their money in the paint to start, and it's clear that they've gone right back to that game plan. Burgos comes up with the missed shot, and he brings it down the other end. We've switched sides here in the second half. Burgos working around a high screen. Schmidt could have got called for an offensive foul on it, but the ref held his whistle. Maybe going to let him play a little bit more here in the second half. Schmidt tries to find the big man in the lane. Entry is denied. Burgos makes his move into the paint and gets the floater to go. A 4-point lead for the Eagles.
Mentioned Burgos early on, the sophomore, the leader. He's the best dribble penetrator probably on the floor. Look to him to be aggressive early and often in this third.
Namarato has it, giving it to the corner. Sears, he had the hot hand early. See if he can get it going again. Back to the other side, Namarato. The 3 ball won't go. And it's Jahani who comes up with the rebound. Kicking it back to the floor general, who brings it across the timeline, gives it to Clancy. Now working with his right, throws a runner, and it's money.
2 good drives by Burgos and Clancy to start the second half here for St. Peter's.
6-point lead for the Eagles, their largest of this championship game. And their fans start to make a little bit of noise. A beautiful move in the paint against 2 defenders doesn't go. Antonio Britton's headed to the line to shoot 2.
Brittain is going to have to finish these off. Now, he got fouled there and everything, but he's smoked a few layups already tonight. He's going to have to, put the ball into the basket. The Lions are going to keep dumping the ball into him, Coach.
Yeah, it's got to be N1s. You don't want to settle for 2 free throws, though you do get Peters in foul trouble. But again, that's 6 straight free throw misses by Farrell, which are big. Antonio had 9 points in the first half. Coach, he was their leading scorer.
So, and uncharacteristically, the Lions shooting the ball poorly from the foul line.
Second one is good.
Hopefully that'll break the schneid.
It's a lid on that free throw basket for a while there for the Lions. Burgos brings it across the timeline. Now finds trouble in the paint, kicks it out to Clancy. Now back to Burgos. Stutter step. The runner. Baseline won't go. Farrell comes up with the board. Not looking to push too fast. Very smoothly and calmly bringing it across is Namarato. Giving it up top now. Holzer with it. Back to his right. Namarato gets the call from the bench and sends out instructions. Sears with it now. He receives the pass yet again. 10 seconds on the shot clock. The Eagles come up with a steal. They've got numbers 3-on-1. Jahani is fouled. No shot. And it looks like they're going to be inbounding underneath their own hoop here.
Brittain not stepping to the ball at a little 1-4 high set, kind of a little slow in traffic and steal in the lane.
Yeah. Oh, this ball tipped. An excellent play on defense from Britain. He's taking it all the way.
What a play by the big man. Tapping it and chasing it down. Outworking Peters and getting to the rim. Big play there for Farrell.
Woo. Burgos with the ball now. Farrell to within a one-possession game. They trail by 3. Schmidt with it now. Step back 3. Off the mark. Farrell comes up with the board. Rodriguez with the big defensive rebound. Now Farrell looking to work quickly on the other end. Peters gets back on defense. Farrell forced to reset. Lions send it up top. Sears with it. Guarded by Clancy. Sears moving to his right. Kicks it outside. 10 on the shot clock. Good pass inside to the big man. Won't go. Second chance opportunity. No. Eagles come up with it. It's Clancy. He's looking ahead with a full head of steam. Off the glass. The runner goes.
Smooth and under control, not flying down the lane. Lions not stepping up for any charges. Clancy with another veteran-like bucket.
It's a 5-point lead for the Eagles. Farrell looking to answer here in front of a slowly, steady becoming packed house. Clancy has it. Go ahead, Danny.
Well, Farrell's missed 3 straight possessions of shots at the rim. Make a miss league. We talk about it all the time, Coach.
Thank you for knowing what's happening. Clancy with it, gets separation, and the baseline runner goes. Beautiful move from Clancy. It's a 7-point lead for the Eagles, their largest of the game. Britain in the paint.
That's a much better touch for him. Get him like on the move where he can get it and just kind of go up and just use his athleticism and obviously his God-given size.
Now Burgos brings it across the timeline. Narvaez with it. Burgos off the glass. He's fouled, going to the line to shoot 2. The shot doesn't go.
I've watched a lot of St. Peter's. They don't have a traditional offense in a sense. And they don't run a set every time. It's like a combination of both, D-Lee. Like they're just so structured, and it's almost like they've rehearsed every situation so many times that no matter what they find, where it's ball screen, weak side, cutting action, they're all seem to be in sync.
And you see here the speed of Burgos, Schmidt, and Clancy. They're getting to the rim here in the second half.
Now the first from the charity stripe is cash for Burgos, so he extends the lead back up to 6. And a couple of substitutions here for the Lions.
So we'll have Sheehan coming back into the game, who was a huge plus. He scored 7 points in the first half coming off the bench for Farrell.
You know, Coach, I hadn't known. I can't believe he's been on the bench for this long as well as he played in that first half.
Farrell looking very eager to box out here. Second one is money, no need.
Okay, so the Eagles going deeper into the bench right now. This is the first appearance for Davis Duke. Big moment here with 3:30 left in the championship game, making your first appearance.
Now Eagles pressing, and they come up with the steal. Burgos sheds it in to a newcomer at the party. We'll see what he could do. Duke. Baseline layup goes, contested with 2 Lions on him. So maybe Coach knows something we don't. Back down the other end, a beautiful chase down block twice, and the ref calls a foul on the second.
I think he called it on the first one, Danny, and I didn't agree with either one, but nonetheless, going to put Britain at the line. The foul's going to need some early, easy baskets here. My goodness, the pace and everything else is slowly, the faster tempo is kicking in. That's St. Peter's advantage, Danny.
Yeah, and the foul was on Duke. I thought it might have been on Ramos, which would have been his 4th.
I don't know, man. I told Rex I'd go easy on him, but I don't like the call.
Well, yeah, no, I didn't agree with that one. The Lions' free throw struggle is slowly becoming a major factor in this game.
And will Farrell go into a little pressure now?
Now Britain makes it at the charity stripe. It's 36-28 our score.
2-2-1.
3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Burgos brings it across the timeline. He is harassed by a couple of Lions. Gives it up safely. They find the open man in the corner. Jahani misses a 3. Lions can't come up with it. Peters steals it back. Schmidt now giving it back up top.
That was Duke again, the steal and the layer preceding that.
Some fresh energy off the bench for Davis Duke. He has the ball now. Euro step kick to the corner. Schmidt nails a three!
That's Schmidt's first basket. It wasn't going to take too long. He's too good a shooter to hold him back.
It is now an 11-point St. Peter's Eagles lead, and Burgos commits a silly foul on the boundary.
Schmidt is a sharp shooter, sharp shooter, and it was only a matter of time until he got going. If he gets a few more looks in a row, Farrell could be in a lot of trouble.
Sure could be. Well, Farrell has it now. Christian Alvarado gives it up to Michael Sears. 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter of the JV championship game.
1-2-2 zone by Coach Genovese here in St. Peter's.
Sears sends it over now. Namorado with it. Gives to the big man in the paint. Rejected by the rim is Brittain. Down the other end, the outlet pass from Duke too strong. Lions will retain possession.
First thing Duke's done wrong tonight, that's for sure.
I mean, great energy in this quarter from Duke.
Talk about 6 men.
Yeah, well, he's the 7th man, and he doesn't really play. I've never really seen him play, so...
He's got 6-man energy.
Just shows the depth of the Eagles. They really only play 6, my goodness.
Here's the pass into the paint. Now an extra one left side. Stutter step. Count it, and the foul.
This Sheehan, I mean, Coach, we mentioned that Coach Citrone waited till like the 3:30 mark of the period to get him in, but he honestly he's been the best line tonight, I think.
Defensively, anytime you swipe like that, Coach, it's gonna be, and you swipe on someone as strong as this kid, good luck. You might end up breaking your fingers.
That one is off the rim, no. And rebounded by Schmidt. Burgos receives it from he brings it across the timeline. Eagles with a 9-point lead here. Really been in control for the whole third quarter.
Yep.
Blocking foul called. Count it, and it goes. Going to the line to shoot 2 is Johanny.
Can't step in that late. He just wasn't there. He tried to, make it like he was, but when you're there late, Danny, you can't fake it. You can't fake timing.
Great pace here by the Eagles. They've picked it up, and they've picked it up offensively, even in the half court. Everything's been a penetration. The only 1-3 from Schmidt on the kick, but it was still a penetration by Davis.
Big minute 19 here for the Lions. Got to keep this thing in a puncher's closest.
Well, big free throws as well, Ray, as it's now ballooned to a 12-point lead, the largest of the night for the Eagles. Lions desperately need a bucket here as we approach the 1-minute mark to go in the third quarter of this JV championship game. Namorado tries to get it to an open man up top. That's Mullen back to Namorado in the corner. The 3 doesn't go. Lions fighting each other for the rebound. And they're lucky they will retain possession here.
Good look from Namorado. Nice drive and kick by Farrell. They got to get a 3 to go here sometime soon. They've had a couple good looks, but nothing go down.
Absolutely great looks, and a couple of times seemingly the ball in the hoop and just rattled out. Mullen now giving it up top. Namorado with it, stutter step, trying to create separation around a high screen. Great defense here from the Eagles. And a foul's going to be called here against Justin Ramos, and he does not like the call. Disgusted walking away from the referee.
Hard to see if his hand, I guess he must have had his off arm holding on the inside a little bit. I didn't see it from our angle, Coach, but...
Yeah, Frank Schettino, when he was coming to the desk, that's what he was saying. I guess he was holding him on the inside 4 on Ramos.
Namorado has it now. Giving up top, Sheehan seeking an open man. 30 seconds on the game clock. 1 second differential between shot clock and game clock. Namorado with it. The floater, too strong off the back rim. Last touch by the Eagles.
An important 17.7 here. Lions need a bucket in the worst possible way. I don't know.
And a steal along the boundary. And they're going to say that Johanny actually stepped out of bounds after he stole the ball, so it's going to stay with the Lions 14 seconds.
But again, end of quarter situations, Coach, which are so important. Farrell started this possession with 35 seconds on the shot clock. You got to hold for the last shot.
What's the rush here?
There's no 12-point shot, so just hold for the last shot. If you get a bucket, great. You go into the fourth quarter down 10. Or maybe 9 if you hit a 3.
Well said, Coach. Well, trying to inbound it now safely, and they do. Brittain with it. Giving it back to Namorado. 7 seconds on the game clock. Firing a three from way downtown. In and out, it won't go. Peters comes up with the board, and a foul is going to be called here in the waning seconds of the third quarter against the Lions.
It's the last thing you got to do if you're Monsignor Farrell. You compound one, not mistake, but one unfortunate situation in the missed shot with the foul there.
Clancy at the buzzer doesn't go.
And that was the third on Sears, too.
Well, at the end of 3 quarters of play, this championship game is starting to feel like we may have a winner soon, but don't count out Farrell just yet. We've seen crazier things in the Staten Island High School League. Down by 12, the Lions will try to redeem themselves. Put your 4s up. JV Championship basketball when we come back. Nobody cares. Welcome back to the broadcast, everybody. Danny Chanod on play-by-play. Coach Danny Lee, Coach Ray Palma joining me in the broadcast booth on color. Want to give a big thanks to the local businesses that donated food for the tournament, including Philly Pretzel Factory, Beer Garden, Kettle Black, Mexican Cantina Restaurant, Randall Manor Tavern, Annadale Terrace, and Osteria Santina. A big thank you to these local businesses. Tremendous job by you. Back to the action on the court. Burgos brings it across the timeline. Jahani has it. Nobody home. He lays it off the glass.
A little curl action, weak side pin down. Jahani getting that ball on the run. Easy bucket, and the biggest lead for the night, a 14-point deficit for the Lions.
Talk about a nightmare situation if you're Farrell. Schmidt having the time of his life. Playing D. Little bit. Oh, they call it travel against the Lions. I think that trash talk from Schmidt worked. He's like the Gary Payton of trash talking out there right now.
And it's friendly fire trash talk. He's not saying, he's not cursing or anything. He's just saying, I have ball, which is what you want kids to do.
I'm loving it.
This kid's from the neighborhood. He's not scared of anything.
Jahani down the other end. Finds Schmidt in the corner. The three doesn't go. And a mad scramble for the board. Last touch off Jahani's fingertips. Well, Farrell finds themselves down by 2 touchdowns here, 7:23 remaining. They need Mr. Momentum to change his address fast if they want to get back in this game.
And that probably has to come from your defense in some way. Defense has to convert to offense at least a few times, get some early buckets.
And this is stolen by Clancy.
It can't be back-to-back turnovers or walking and then a bad pass or catch there. So they got to get stops, as Coach said, but then they really got to get it going offensively.
Schmidt has been firing, whether hot or not. We'll see if he does it on this possession. Burgos sends it back to him. 15 on the shot clock. Working around a screen. He fakes the pass, throws it off the glass, but the left won't go. Lions come up with it. Pushing with a full head of steam is Sheehan, who now reroutes and lets the offense reset. Almost traveled there.
Farrell taking their time, and that's fine. You want to run your sets, but there's got to be a big sense of urgency here.
Sears gets it into a cutting man in the lane who's fouled. That's Sheehan. He's going to go to the line and shoot 2.
So it hasn't been for a lack of getting to the rim, Coach. They've gotten to the rim pretty much all night. They haven't made free throws, and they've missed a lot of bunnies near the rim.
I mean, let's give them 6 layups and give them 6 free throws. That's 12, that's 18 points right there. They're up by 4. So if you're the Lions, you can be confident in what you've achieved, like you pointed out, and you have court sets, but you got to put, and there's another one. You got to get up, put the ball in the hoop.
They don't need me waving my hands in the broadcast booth disgusted. I am not invested in this game whatsoever, but I do want to see a good game. And, they call it the charity stripe for a reason.
A lot of game left, 6:27. I think you're going to see pressure from Farrell here, 1-2-2, or maybe a 1-2-1-1.
Sheehan misses the second one. Looks like we have a lane violation or a foul.
It's also, I'm nervous broadcasting the game, and no one cares what I'm doing. Literally, nobody cares.
At all, no.
But, these kids are playing in front of a capacity crowd. It's not easy, that's for sure.
Well, speaking of capacity, the gym is certainly filling up as Jahani is blocked in the paint. Good defense from Britain, saying that this game ain't over yet. Rodriguez kicking it to the corner. Now back up top for the Lions. Perimeter passing. Gives it to the cutting big, who throws up a contested shot and then loses it. Schmidt has it now on the other end for the Eagles, and a timeout called wisely by the St. Peter's bench. The Eagles take a 14-point lead late now into the game. Less than 6 minutes left here in the fourth quarter, D-Lee.
I like that timeout by Coach Genovese. I know they had numbers. It was 3-2, and after the whistle, it always happens like that, right? Coach, the guy makes the shot after the whistle after you call timeout. But he's telling his guys right now, 6 minutes to go, we're up by 14, time and possession. We literally, we don't need to score. Like, we could, if we run our sets, if we run 30 seconds on every possession, we'll be the champion. So I love that timeout there by Coach.
Yeah, can't disagree.
Situational awareness that a coach would tell a player. I didn't even think of that. What do you got, Ray?
Well, the game was stalled, and you could just kind of try and ride it out and win the game by 14, or you could get your troops in line and try and blow them out of the water. A 6-7-0 run here puts the game to bed. That's back-to-back threes. This game's over. So if you're the Lions, I think you get points off your defense. They're going to have to come out in something. You can't continue to battle it out in the half court. You have to press, trap, something along the way. Referees calling them back out. Big 5:59. Farrell with 4 timeouts. Peters with 3, so a lot of timeouts left. A lot of time over the basketball game.
A lot of ball game left, and the next foul on Peters sends Farrell to the 1-and-1, which is, you would say, the way to get back into a game down 14 is stopping the clock and making free throws, which they haven't been able to make tonight. But you still got to get to the rim and try to stop the clock any way you can.
And Coach Petrides actually was the coach of Coach Genovese at St. Charles many years ago in CYO. So far, the mentor is getting the teacher so far, and will the teacher find a way to pull out a few punches and to turn the tide for his team here?
Well, we'll see what it is. As the Eagles are inbounding underneath their own hoop, and they get it in cleanly here. Ramos has it up top. Burgos has it up top. Schmidt receives back to Clancy on a give and go. Schmidt has it again. Clancy firing a 3. Head on, won't go. Britain comes up with the board. Farrell desperately needs a basket here. Working with his right hand, running into a dead-end brick wall. Good defense here by the Eagles, and a jump ball, our very first of the game.
It's an extremely difficult shot. You like the aggression from Sears, but that's just tough. Big rebound, though, keeping it going for Holzer on the backside.
Sears from the corner fires the 3 off the mark, won't go. And that's Burgos who chases down the loose board. We approach the 5-minute mark here in the fourth quarter of the JV championship game. This was a 1-possession game for the whole first half, and St. Peter's just shot out of a cannon at halftime. They now have a 14-point lead and trying to build. Clancy with a beautiful move, and the paint doesn't go. Rebounded by Britain.
They shot at the cannon for a quick run, but other than that, it's been Farrell hasn't scored.
No, they've gone ice cold. They've scored 8 points in the half.
Oh, thanks for calling me out on not knowing what I'm talking about. Back to the action on the court. Britain receives a beautiful pass, and he just can't finish.
Yeah, Britain's got to focus on taking care of the ball in the business rather than argue with refs there.
Schmidt gets it to Johani, who's fouled on the baseline layup.
Jahani shows you the all-around game. He shows you the 3 ball. I've seen it drop. He can really shoot it. So you have to respect that. It's like when you're closing out, and then it's just an athlete on that baseline, D-Lee, as far as getting to the basket.
Yeah, I really like his athleticism today. Dribbles the ball well with both hands. We've seen him make a jump shot early before as he heads to the line.
You think about going forward in St. Peter's, you got a bunch of underclassmen on this already ridiculous team. You're going to add a player like Jahani and a shooter like Clancy and a shooter like
Schmidt.
I was going to say Artie's boy like Schmidt, and Burgos, a top flight point guard as well. The system is stocked.
I'd say, I guess both these schools aren't going away for a while.
And Bertain can really be a special player. He's had a little bit of a struggle tonight, but he's got a nice soft touch and some natural God-given size.
Namarato gives it up to Bertain. Spin move. The runner doesn't go in the paint, and there is a lid on the hoop for the Farrell Lions now.
I mean, everything else about it was absolutely gorgeous. The footwork, the spin, everything. Just the result, unfortunately, can't find the bottom of the bucket.
Clancy now sending it over to the corner. Jahani, a beautiful quick step move, but he couldn't finish. Now sending it up top. Sheehan all the way strong off the glass. They really needed that. Boys, the longest journey starts with a single step. The Lions have gotten their first basket in an eternity.
And that's Sheehan on the trap. Yeah, well, there you go. You said points off of your defense. Sheehan has been by far the MVP for Monsignor Farrell tonight with the aggressive trap. And despite the stall, not scoring, Dan, these guys have done it.
Yeah, 3:38 to go, and Coach Tatron has 4 timeouts left. So plenty of basketball. If they get a bucket here, then we're really going to see.
Back to the action on the court. Michael Sears now giving it to Bertain. Back to Sears. Good defense here by the Eagles. Bertain doesn't care, but now he has it blocked by Ramos.
Letting him play underneath there. It looks clean. I don't see anything, but you usually hear a lot of whistles, and so far, both refs calling it straight up, which I love. Been a well-officiated game.
Ramos gives it to Clancy. We approach the 3-minute mark here in the JV Island Championship. Up top, a three won't go from Ramos. Schmidt comes up with a huge offensive rebound, and he's just going to bring it back. Now he fires a three off the mark. He could have ate another 35 seconds off the clock.
So he went for the nail in the coffin. Instead, he opened the door for the Lions.
Let's see if they can capitalize on the opportunity. Namarato is fouled. But it looks like before the shot attempt.
Well, he'll go to the line for a 1-and-1 because that was the 7. That's a big sequence there. Aiden, unbelievable job with the offensive rebound. Smart from the paint to pull it back out, but then a quick three there, like as Coach was saying. If he hits that, it's lights out. You know, you're the champions. But now, foul on the other end of Namarato, son of Brian Namarato, former player at Monsignor Farrell, and also one of our head referees on Staten Island.
Well, there has been a lid on the free throw basket for them all night, and thankfully that streak has come to an end as Namarato makes the first in a 1-and-1 situation. So here comes the second.
We'll expect some type of pressure, whether the half court or full court, out of the Lions.
And through all of it, Coach, another missed free throw.
Oh, well, opportunity to get the board, but it was Holzer who had his foot on the line when he did so.
It's a 30 for the Eagles here, so Genovese wants to really steer the ship home, do it his way, Coach Lee. So whatever he's got planned, he wants to make sure his kids understand. You do have the advantage of the lead, so you likely aren't going to need timeouts to come back in the game. So therefore, Genovese calling his timeouts to extend his lead and win the basketball game.
And Coach Genovese will have 2 left. Coach Citrone has 4 left. So this 240 can be a long eternity if Farrell gets a bucket, timeout. If they have a foul to give before they get into the 1-on-1. So they're going to be super aggressive here. The jump balls for St. Peter's, but expect the pressure here from Farrell. Their kids are tough. They're not going to quit. With all of that's gone wrong for them, any basket here is going to get this game under 10 into single digits.
I talked to Genovese before the game. He said to stop Sears mid-range, get Bertain off the right block, and to keep Namarato out of the middle. And I'd say it's been check, check, check. So they've done everything they want to do defensively. They got 44 points on the board, which is a little below their standard. But if you're the Lions here, you are in this basketball game.
Love to hear your commentary, and I know the people do at home as well. Wherever you are watching this game, thank you for tuning in. The Eagles up by 11. Farrell not showing too much of a press, making sure people are back on D. Schmidt sending it up top to Burgos, who's now going to drain as much clock as humanly possible. Hounded on defense here by Sheehan. Burgos still has it. Tipped by a couple of Lions, but Jahani maintains possession. 14 on the shot clock. Schmidt, the corner three. The dagger won't go. And a foul called on the rebound attempt. It's going to stay right here.
Yeah, it's going to go on the line. You got to rebound that, D-Lee. You got to get that board. You got the stop. You got the miss. You got to get the board.
And, Coach, that's the tough part when you're doubling, tripling at one point, and guys are frantic and chaotic. You got to find somebody to box out, and it's tough when you're doubling.
Now Jahani finds Clancy, who is going to be fouled.
So after the first three by Schmidt, where Farrell got the ball on the other end, I think that probably was the reason for Genovese's point of emphasis during the timeout, was to tell them we're going to kill some clock and move it. And now they find themselves at the foul line, 1-on-1 with a fantastic foul shooter.
Yeah, that's probably not the guy you want to foul.
Clancy at the line. He's had somewhat of a quiet night as he sinks the first in a 1-on-1 situation.
Clancy's never going to force anything, a lot like his older brother. Let the game come to him, but, trust me, ice water in those veins, it runs in the family.
Second one from the charity stripe is Cash. It's a 13-point lead for the Eagles. Their largest of the game was 14.
Farrell's got to get into something quicker here. Taking too much time.
Little crossover here. The runner from the baseline won't go, and a block on the putback attempt. It's going to go against Jahani.
So you got a minute 56, and the Lions certainly still in the game. Coach,
Actually,
talk about this age of coaches and trainers and specialization. How about the Lions roster? Eric Rodriguez, varsity baseball. Brendan Mullen, JV football, and a track star, apparently. Holster's a varsity baseball pitcher. Sheehan, a football player. Kachisi, varsity lacrosse. Case, varsity lacrosse. La Quintana, a football player. And Logan Hines, the smartest of the bunch, is on the golf team over at Monsignor Farrell. So multiple dual sport athletes. So a lot of these kids, no matter what happens at the end of the basketball season, are going to jump right into something else.
Now Britton misses the second. 1 of 2 at the line. Ray Palma with extraordinary color commentary, in-depth insight. One that we cannot afford. We have no budget, by the way. You get nothing.
I got a hot dog from El Presidente. I'm fine.
That's more than the bookie ever got.
More than I ever need.
Which, by the way, the bookie has a spread for next game. I'll get into that
I
next
cannot
time.
wait to hear it.
Did he have a spread for this game? Or?
No, he doesn't do. He just got into high school.
Yeah.
You gotta give him a chance.
It's 16 and over for spreads, I believe.
He's varsity and above.
Actually, his high school spreads, he's been spot on. His picks have been spot on. I think he's undefeated.
Well, listen, I look forward to giving my lot. I don't know what it is. I look forward to hearing it.
I know we all can't wait for that. Clancy misses at the line, and he's furious with himself. Back on the other end, Brittain back to the hoop, shoulder shimmies, throws one up and makes it. It's a 10-point lead. Farrell calls a timeout. 1:36 to go.
D-Lee, you point out the board's accurate, so they still have 3 timeouts left. So Detroit can extend this thing out. The Eagles are going to have to continue to make foul shots. Listen, the Lions find a way to put the ball in the hoop. Things can still happen here in minute 36.
And give Coach credit. You want to keep as many timeouts in your pocket as you can. He could have probably used one when Peters was on that little bit of a run in the third, but he held on to it. He let his guys play through, and now you give yourself a shot. If you get 2 or 3 baskets and you use the timeouts after every one of those, and if a couple threes, all of a sudden you're down to a 2-possession game.
And you pointed out the coach's dilemma. Like sometimes you micromanage, you let them play through things, and the benefit now worked out where you have it here. But I'm sure, Coach, if they don't win this basketball, he's going to say, "Well, I really should have called one there." It's always in retrospect in coaching. There's no blueprint for it. It's not like football where the play's written out for you beforehand.
Even when you win the game, Coach, you go back and you think about all the things that you could have done, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. A lot of second guessing because in a good leader, you accept all blame and take no credit. And I think Pete Trone's the captain of that team as far as his show and everything. But if something goes good, it's the kids. Something goes poorly, it's him. And I'm sure you'll hear that tonight after the game.
1:36 remaining here in the JV Championship game, live from Petrides High School. Danny Chanod on play-by-play, Coach Ray Palma and Coach Danny Lee on color commentary. Clancy gets it, Farrell in a full-court press. Got to be careful here, and it should be a turnover.
Yeah, well, he didn't call the foul, so you can't not call the walk. It's one or the other. So that's the turnover the Lions needed. 3 timeouts, down 10 with the ball.
Open off a screen, laying it in beautifully is Sears.
And I like that he didn't use it here right away on the timeout, but they got Schmidt behind.
Schmidt down the other end, can't control the pass, has to bring it back out. Burgos with it.
The Lions
Farrell
bench
has
screaming
to
foul.
foul.
Yeah, the Lions have about, I see 5 dressed assistant coaches right in front and a few more all screaming foul. Hard to hear on the floor. Hey, coach, it's an 8-point game, minute 15 here. This game's not over.
And you would say to yourself, why didn't you use the timeout? Because you're going to be in a chaotic 10 full-court man anyway. So I like that he didn't use it because they scored within 2 seconds off the sideline out of bounds.
1,000%, coach. You don't need to foul. We don't need to call a timeout to tell somebody to foul. You want to call time to set your offense
Now
up.
Burgos in a 1-and-1. Gets the first to go. Touched every part of the rim before going in the net.
It's a big shot for the Eagles. You know, they haven't scored in a while themselves, and they've been trying to hold the ball, kill the clock a bit, and it's kind of slowed down their offense.
Massive shot here. And it goes. Talk about ice water in his veins. It's back up to a 10-point lead. And the runner off the glass won't go. Battle for the board. Farrell comes up with it. And this should be 2 shots. Instead, it's going to be a foul with no shots.
I think he called it on the ground. 1-1 still, yeah, because it was a nice foul on St. Peter's.
My point is, how is that possible? He got the rebound and he threw it up knowing he was going to be fouled. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks like the ref was behind them as well. I don't know how. It's some amazing vision.
Trying to get in. The St. Peter's 6-man's out there yelling, let us in, let us in.
Tell him to turn the game on. Nobody cares, Charlie.
Charlie Donahue informed us the capacity crowd of the St.
Tell him
Peter's
to log
6-man
on.
is ready to bounce in. So the St. Peter's 6-man's fired up here, but still, nonetheless, it's made free throws, 8-point game. 9-point game.
Clancy gets the board and he escapes a foul going all the way down the timeline as, well, this clock has almost struck midnight. Officially 1 minute to go. St. Peter's with a 9-point lead here in the JV title game. Danny, what do you got?
And they've made free throws. Burgos just made 2. Clancy's made 3 or 4. And that's just the calmness of Clancy. He wants to go to the line. He wants these moments just like his brother did. So he wasn't giving that ball up, Coach.
No, he wanted to go to the foul line. Went right up that sideline. Get foul, walk to the line, knock down 2. So we lost someone for the Lions. He must have fouled out the way they're walking
I think Sears fouled out.
Okay, so
That's a big change for the Lions on the hardwood right now. Sears has had a hot hand for them all night.
and all season he's been one of the the leading scorers from the guard position. So big loss for the Lions. And we mentioned it earlier. Check the box for Coach Genovese and his defense.
And, Coach, you had mentioned, before you talked about Sears' mid-range game. The one thing we really haven't seen from Farrell today is three-point shooting. And to get back in games like this with a minute to go down 9, you need three-point shooting. So
And they established the post, which was great, but the post should lead to some inside out, and unfortunately it led to a lot of inside, didn't produce baskets. So if he's not going to come back out and you're not scoring, that's why you have 39 points on the board with a minute left.
Now this one goes up and in for Clancy. Pivotal shots here late in the game. Under a minute to go here, the Eagles with an 11-point lead. Farrell's trying to complete a miraculous comeback. It starts with this bucket if it goes, and it won't.
That's probably going to be it as far as any realistic possibility. The Lions did struggle to put the ball in the hoop around the basket all night. Brittain did a lot of other great things on defensively on the boards as just a presence in the lane. And still probably had some good solid numbers, so keep your head up, kid. You're a fantastic player. The sky is bright for his individual development, and then obviously Monsignor Farrell as a program as a whole.
And, Coach, as we saw Farrell's varsity the night, starting 5 seniors, a couple more seniors off the bench, he's going to walk right in for Coach Dunn next year with that size.
Yeah, you got to
Be a big factor on their varsity.
Would have to imagine major minutes right from the beginning, and will only further develop because, as we pointed out, the Farrell strength and conditioning program is second to none.
Where were those facilities when I was at Farrell, Coach?
I don't know much about Farrell, Coach, to be honest, but I'm sure if they had it, you'd be just as strong as you are now.
And there's a 3 from downtown from Christian Dalmorado.
I just looked over. I was like, is Chanod still there?
He took an injury in the booth. What happened, Dan?
I may have become the first broadcaster of all time to tear my ACL while sitting down, not moving.
He's so pumped up by the Catholic schools today, Coach. He went to take a charge, I think, on the monitor, and he blew his ACL out.
I'm in so much pain. And then, and Charlie was asking me production questions, aka El Prez. So, yeah, I need if there's a trainer out here.
There's definitely a trainer in the
definitely
building.
blew my ACL not moving. back to the action on the court.
35 seconds to go. Nice three there by Namorado. They cut it to 9, 3 possessions. They got 2 timeouts left. Got to go for a steal. The possession arrow is St. Peter's, so even if you tie them up, they're going to retain the ball. So you got to try to steal the first pass or the inbound pass.
And if you're Matt Genovese, just want to give him a shout out now. Assuming they're able to hold on to this lead, you serve a lot of time as a varsity assistant, changing the program, and all of a sudden you're in charge. And I know from experience, it's a big difference sitting down and making suggestions as opposed to standing up and making decisions.
1 seat away, but a million miles away, Coach.
Yeah,
we can both say as starting out as assistants and then becoming head coaches.
Absolutely, absolutely. Both, equals, as far as importance on any kind of a team, but one more difficult than the other, I would say safely.
Well, Burgos receives it, and he's going to be fouled right away.
And I actually, with my own coach career, left MSIT and became Curtis' JV coach and won a championship my first year at Curtis. And here Genovese in a similar situation, coming from coaching varsity, takes over the JV, and his hard work and his commitment to the game of basketball, he's a film nerd like myself, is going to be rewarded here with a Staten High School League championship. And I couldn't be prouder or happier for a better person and human being.
Well, Burgos now in a double bonus situation, so shooting 2. And for a young man that's been lights out all night at the free throw line, he continues that way with 33 seconds to go here.
And credit Peters, because every free throw down the stretch has been Clancy or Burgos, the 2 best free throw shooters.
Second one too strong. Way to jinx him. Albany across the timeline here, looking for a quick basket, and they get one. Sheehan.
Well, as we pointed out, Coach Tutron can keep this thing going as long as he wants. Sheehan's been fantastic.
Yeah, Sheehan's got 14 points, Coach. He's playing phenomenal.
And he's just such a bullet of an athlete, He's stocky, he's strong, but he's also lightning quick. So I'm not sure what position he plays on the football field, but my goodness, I'm sure my guy Rocco over there, the varsity football team, if he's not already on varsity, I have no idea. But either way, a fantastic player.
I just realized something.
Good time, Dan.
If there has to be like a riot outside, because you have the 6-man from both schools outside trying to get in right.
And really, the 6-man from St. Peter's would love to be in. I mean, the 6-man for C, they can wait, but the 6-man from St. Peter's, they want to see the JV championship too.
Well, my thing is, next year we get more cameras, so we can get an outside door feed.
Oh, live feed outside.
Live feed. That's what we need.
Well, maybe the El Prez can put something out there for the 6 men. They could get out there almost like Seattle, the Seahawks, and all the teams do out in front of the stadium.
I don't see any reason why not.
This tournament's been beautiful. Wait till now Charlie Donahue knows what he's doing. He's seen it. It's only going to get better and stronger as they foul Clancy.
Quite a few seconds done come off the clock that time. We're down to under 20 seconds to go here. And it seems like we may be only delaying the inevitable unless we are destined to see some miraculous comeback, which, listen, I'm not counting out. I need the views. Well, we all do, boys.
Well, how about that finish the other
Hot dog
night?
was the first thing I've had to eat in days.
Yes, I have a few conversations with Danny about the broadcast, and just Danny Lee and I show up and talk. That's the only job we have. Danny Chanod puts all this together with the fanciness, along with Gotham Trinity Productions, and here at the beautiful Petrides campus, and just quite the environment. So honored to be a part of it.
We're doing it. Back to the action. 10-point lead for the Eagles. Looking to move quickly, throws a wild shot in the lane, won't go. Schmidt comes up with the board, and this is going to wrap it up. The St. Peter's Eagles have won the Staten Island JV Championship, defeating the Farrell Lions by a score of 54-44.
And they did it all traditional St. Peter's fashion. Hardcore man-to-man defense, jumped past the lane, mix in some traps, knock down some outside shots, and they found a way to overcome the mismatch with retaining the post, Coach Lee.
Congratulations to Coach Genovese, his staff with Billy DeFazio, Wendell Stratford, Jordan Fox, and Mike Driscoll, great staff over there at St. Peter's. Hats off to the Farrell kids. It just wasn't a night in terms of making shots, but they fought. I mean, they fought all the way to the end. Just a real good junior varsity championship tonight.
And the effort from both teams and the preparation, Dan, this was not a bunch of kids going out there and playing pickup ball. This was a lot of sets, a lot of structure, ball moving back and forth and getting where it belongs. You see the hug there between the former player and coach. And I think we're going to have a presentation here. Danny Chanod at half court with Coach Gannon and Mr. Don and Charlie Donahue.
All right, we'll send it over to the PA announcer for the presentation of the JV Island Championship trophies.
And now,
MVP for the St. Peter's Eagles. Salud Jahani, MVP. All right, and the presentation of the trophy. The Jack McGinley Trophy is going to be presented by the Jakes Committee to the
Ladies and gentlemen, accepting the Jack McGinley Trophy, St. Peter's head coach Matt Genovese.
But do you want it for the Boston, like at the end of the Boston game or no?
It's hard to definitely not tell him.
We'll put him right here.
I got him.
You got it. That's coach.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining us in the broadcast booth right now with Coach Ray Palma is the champion head coach of the St. Peter's Eagles. Please welcome Matt Genovese to the booth. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
What do you got?
Does Danny want me to talk? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you go. Talk to him. What do
Danny
you
usually
got?
keeps going.
I appreciate the congratulations. We can start there.
So Genovese, Coach Genovese, you started, you put your time in, you put the hours in the gym as an assistant coach on the varsity, and that's the way it should be done. You did it the St. Peter's way. You put your time in, change the scenery over at St. Peter's, the same JV job becomes yours. So I imagine this was your goal from the beginning. How does it feel to accomplish the ultimate here tonight?
It's the best. It's the best. These kids have been working.
Lady serious? Yeah, all right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
They've been working since June when we took the job. They didn't get a chance to, none of these guys got a chance to experience it last year. Like you said, it's been a goal. I took the job of doing the first open gym. This was one of our goals, was to win this tournament. We weren't even sure we were going to have a tournament. In our first scrimmage, you and I, we were talking about making sure we made this happen. I'm so happy for them. They earned it. There was some doubts about these boys coming into the year, and they got rid of every single one of them throughout the course of the season.
And the best part of it was we didn't have to do anything. Charlie Donahue took the reins.
I know.
Absolutely
That's right.
everything. So how about the kids? How about Jahani? Can you talk about him specifically, just how well he was on both ends of the floor today?
So, you know, we're a team that can be pretty good. When Salu's awesome, we're awesome. You know, he's the difference maker for us. We go as he goes. You know, Jack, Aiden, Ryan, Aries, Ramos, those guys coming off the bench are super consistent. But Salu, when he takes it to the next level, we go to the next level every night.
Coach, I know you got to talk to your team.
Yeah,
Congratulations,
so much,
buddy.
fellas.
Happy for
Congratulations,
you.
brother.
And
Nobody
bring it
cares
back to
about
IO's 27 regardless.
Yeah, man.
All right,
Yeah,
take
man.
care.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
All right,
Nobody
guys.
cares. Congratulations,
Thank you,
brother.
fellas.
Go have a
Appreciate
drink
it, guys.
tonight. All right, that is our head coach, Matt Genovese, the champion of the JV St. Peter's Eagles. They reign supreme over the Farrell Lions. Up next at 7 p.m., we have a varsity championship matchup between the South St. Joseph by the Sea Vikings and the North St. Peter's Eagles. Let's go, baby. Danny Chanod, Ray Palma, Danny Lee on the call. See everybody at 7 o'clock. Nobody cares.